Hey, what's up? Real quick, this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual. This is from Friday's stream. It's going to be like a long rant about like my thoughts and feelings and predictions and theories on Jojo up to this point. So a lot of things may not exactly make sense. A lot of things will sound kind of dumb, and a lot of things will be all over the place. I at some point I started talking about at some point I'm not even talking about JoJo anymore, and I'm trying to like relate it back to JoJo in a way. So this may be one of those videos that you may want to watch in the background, kind of like a podcast or something like that, because this is going to be much like a lot of my videos all over the place. I was going to cut this down. However, for the people that either don't really go on Twitch or have a Twitch or anything like that, and the people that kind of just stay on YouTube, I wanted them to get the full context of everything that was said in the video. So I'm not gonna make this video any longer than it needs to be because it's already long as hell. Thank you for watching, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the video. Sorry for rambling. Uh, Bye. Stay black. Since we got some JoJo, since we got some JoJo links up, we'll kind of phase back into JoJo. Where were we at? Yeah, part 6. So to get back onto like the actual conversation of JoJo, and then after we complain about or that's not complain, after we talk about JoJo, I've been talking about Demon Slayer too long. After we talk about JoJo, we can get into some other anime topics, or we'll watch the videos and get into some other anime topics. DBS was popcorn anime. Don't think, just vibe. Yes, that's why I'm gonna watch it with the boys. That's all I need. I just need to watch it with the boys, and that's it. But part 6, Stone Ocean. First off, the introduction of Jolyne, as I said, great introduction, amazing character design. We got a lot of her personality in just the first like 2 episodes. You can even say the first episode. And I was immediately enamored with her character. It was quick to the point, and we automatically knew who she was, what she was, and how she got to this point, right? So Jolyne, great character, really enjoyed her. Going through the show, my expectations were for the show to get slowly but surely get into like really unimaginable territories, as I said, because of where the story ended in part 5. I was expecting for it to go into like what the fuck is going on territory, right? In which it did. I think where it seems like JoJo is heading, it is going into like that what the fuck territory. Her theme still isn't out officially. Feels bad, man. Oh fuck. Even just within the first 5 episodes, Jolyne already has more character development than any other JoJo except for maybe Joseph. Yes. And that is probably why I enjoyed Jolyne so much, because we got to know Jolyne. Like, we got to know Jolyne from like adolescence, right? I think Jolyne is still technically in adolescence. How old is Jolyne? Like, I think like maybe she's like 17, 18. 19? Okay, yeah. Jolyne's like 19 at this point. And so like we kind of got to know Jolyne through adolescence. You can tell a lot about somebody through adolescence, mostly because when you're in adolescence, you're going to have a lot of hormones. You're going to be very loud about, what you have to say and things like that. So we get a lot of character out of Jolyne because of her age, right? And with people like, Jonathan, he was so simple to the point that you felt like you didn't need to know any more about Jonathan. The first couple like lines out of Jonathan, you knew what you were getting into, which isn't a bad thing, but he was very cut and dry. I think even when I was first reacting to part 1, I even said that, yeah, Jonathan was like, he was very simple, and so was Dio, honestly. And then with Joseph had the same treatment, where we got to know him in adolescence. Yes, Joseph was already like a little bit older when we first met him, but the show did a very good job, and they were very poignant on making sure you would know Joseph when he was in his adolescence, because like I said, you get a lot of character out of people that age, and they usually bring that character over to a bit of that character, at least, over into adulthood. And it was pretty much like that for Joseph, where the person that he was in adolescence was a little bit same of the person that he was in adulthood. For other characters such as Josuke, Jotaro, and Giorno, these people all like, and it's not a bad thing, but these people felt less like characters and more like forces to be afraid of. Like, yes, Joseph was formidable. Yes, Jonathan was formidable. Yes, Jolyne is formidable, but not in the same way that Jotaro, Josuke, and Giorno are. These three just felt like they went somewhere and niggas just needed to get out the way because it's me. You know what I'm saying? These three served more as themes than they did as characters. They still had character development, and they had character such as like Jotaro, who got most of his character development in like very minute and subtle ways, like with his subtle PTSD with Dio, or with the Dio fight, and him being was he a marine archaeologist or something like that, a bio something, I don't know. We get marine biologist, there it is. Him being a marine biologist, showing that he has interest in things like that. We get very small, minute character development for them. Giorno is not a character, he is an ideal. Exactly. These are forces to be dealt with. They're not characters. These are just forces. Like they simply, like I said, they simply walk into a room and niggas just move because they are who they are. If anything, these three characters work a lot like they almost have like their own gravitational pull, which is what makes them not be characters anymore. Each one has a very distinct gravitational pull. They retract some people, and some people they bring into their their fold, right? Their own, like, they bring into their own gravity, right? And when you have characters like that work as these forces, or as Napork said, ideals, people flock to them because they believe in them. And when you have characters like Jolyne that are simply characters, people befriend them. Like Jotaro, Giorno, and Josuke, they had followers. Yeah, they were friends, but of course they were friends because in the grand scheme of things, that without being meta, they were people. So obviously they had friends. But from the perspective of a viewer, they just had followers. Giorno followers, Josuke followers, Jolyne followers. I mean, not Jolyne. Jotaro followers. You know, these people, as not Pork said, they're ideals, they're religions, if you even want to say that. You know, which is why, these three have the most insane powers out of everybody. Josuke being able to rewind damage in like Josuke has a god power. Jotaro has a god power. Giorno has a god power. Joseph has hermit purple. Jonathan has Hamon. Jolyne, as far as we know, is Spider-Man. You know, these people are not given god powers. Fuck yeah, hermit purple, right? These people were not given god powers. Thus, they are simply characters, which I'll say again is good. That's okay. These are different sides to different kinds of characters. You can have like character driven, you can have ideal driven, you know, characters. They're just forces. But in the way of Jolyne, we have just a character. So when we get to know Jolyne, we get to know Jolyne. And it works really well with the situations that that we're put in, because we are confined into one space. It's a jail. We're not going to go off onto like an adventure to Egypt or anything like that, because that's not, you know, you don't really need crazy locations if your character is crazy. You know, if the character itself is crazy, they make any location that they're at a wonder to watch, you know. So for Stone Ocean, it characterization works really well because how much characterization Jolyne gets. Foo Fighters especially, yeah. Foo Fighters is and we'll get to Foo Fighters, because when I start talking about Foo Fighters is when we're gonna get into the confusing shit. Right now the only reason I'm talking about like Jolyne is because she's simple, and I can you know, I want to get the simple shit out the way. But yeah, Jolyne, great character that creates better a better environment to watch her flourish in. We also have Hermes. Oh, it's awkward. What's her name? Hermes? Yeah. We have Hermes. Air mattress. Yep, there it is. We have air mattress. Air mace. Oh, that sounds horrible. I'm gonna stick to Hermes. Aramis, because she's what nationality is Aramis? Mexican? Aramis. Oh, okay. So it is air mace. It is air mace if you say it in a because it's Hermes. Yeah, okay. I see why it's air mace then. I'm gonna Americanize it though. It's Hermes. But Hermes is air mattress D's nut. Got him. God damn it, Dean. God damn it. But we have Hermes, who I can't first of all, before we get into the bit that I have with Hermes. I just want to say, I don't know why, but Hermes is probably the baddest. I don't know why, but Hermes is probably at least one of the baddest, like, females that we've gotten in JoJo. I don't know what it is about Hermes, but for some reason she's on the screen. I'm like, yes, I enjoy this. But yeah, Hermes is cool. She's a great friend to have, and when we have a character driven, sounds weird, but a character driven character like Jolyne, you want somebody like Hermes on your, in your friend group. Her being so how do I say this, herself, is the kind of Joe bro that I expect in a part like this, right? Hermes's voice is so yeah, I really do like Hermes's voice. It's like six actual females in JoJo's slim. It's slim picking. Yeah, that's true. There is not that many females in JoJo, but Hermes is up there. Like, if you told me, listen, you got your pick, who's it gonna be? I'm probably bagging Hermes. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm probably bagging her. Like, I don't know what it is, but FF by far, no argument. FF. Foo Fighters is cool. I don't know what it is about Foo Fighters that makes me like, not that interested. Like, Foo Fighters is bad. It might be because I see her as a fucking fish. Like, that might be it. If we were talking about, like, just the person before she got fucking exploded, maybe. But it might just be because I'm like, oh, that's like amoebas. Like, I don't know. FF fans explaining why it's technically not necrophilia or zoophilia. That might be why. Like, if I had distanced myself from the whole Hermes being dead and an animal, a dead animal, pretty much, then maybe. But yeah, I do. When it comes to, like, the side characters or the Joe bros in this part, the thing is that with a character like Jolyne, you don't really have to have them be so bombastic, which none of them are so far. Hermes acts just like any other Hispanic chick I've ever met, right? Foo Fighters is weird, but we'll get to her. When it comes to Hermes and their, in the way that they, what's the word I'm looking for? Interact. It is very normal and natural for the situation because these are normal people and they do come off as just normal people put into a very wacky situation. I do really like Hermes's, like, stand power as well. The whole kiss thing is cool, and duplicating whatever she puts her sticker on, like that. That's a very useful power. I do really fuck with that, right? No, I don't fucking care. Give me that plankton filled corpse G. My dog out here fucking a sea anemone. Oh, hell no. But yeah, um, I like Hermes. She yes, yes. Hermes is cool. I do like that she acts as like the crazy Hispanic best friend. It it's very natural to me. Yes, officer. This one right here. Oh fuck. It all comes off very natural to me, and it makes me enjoy her character a lot more outside of me just wanting to fuck her. Um, so cool characters thus far. I should say that I do like having a female, a female centered um group as even though it's just three of them. It is fun to have a female centered group because I think I said this in one of the discussions, but um in a way it kind of feels like part 3, where thoughts on Funimation being bought out by Crunchyroll. It was inevitable, and it doesn't change the ecosystem one bit, because unfortunately, as much as I hate it, but I hate to say it, but pirating is still the better option. It's like, it sucks to say, but unfortunately pirating is still the better option. Because no matter how much no matter how much you look into it, and no matter how much time you give places like Funimation time to better themselves, they do it so slowly and so inefficiently that pirating is always a better option. So yeah, I mean, I don't care. It is what it is. I will say that hopefully, and for shit like Jojo, the fan sub is just objectively superior with all the censorship, which is what I was about to say. I will say hopefully with the merge of Funimation and with the merge of Funimation and Crunchyroll, hopefully they don't take the people that do the moderation for Crunchy or for Funimation and add them into a bigger role in Crunchyroll, because people are going to hate that. They just are. There's going to be rampant, and I mean rampant fuckery if they do that. Keep the same people you have. Let moderators on Funimation work alongside them, under them maybe, but not. Don't give them too much power. That's what I will say. I got to dust off my One Piece hat. Down with the Crunchyroll app. God damn it. But let's talk Foo Fighters. Let's talk Foo Fighters. When it comes to Foo Fighters as a character, I'll keep it very short. I do like that Foo Fighters has this ignorance to her, because of what she is. I enjoy. Let's talk in detail. God damn it. I do enjoy the ignorance of Foo Fighters, because the ignorance can be seen as a different lens to see the world in. Since Foo Fighters is an animal or a species, their take on certain situations is completely different from a human's take on certain situations. And this is where we get into like the shit that doesn't make sense. the Foo Fighters introduction to the show was her talking about the beginning of the universe. And this is where we stop talking about characters and we start talking about what the fuck is going on in Jojo, which is the meat and potatoes of this conversation. When Foo Fighters is introduced, she talks about the beginning of the universe, which is something that we have never talked about in Jojo, at least not in that type of detail. We have talked about the beginning of civilization before. We have touched on like the beginning of other civilizations before. We've touched on a lot of things, right? But the beginning of the universe is not something that we've touched on. Specifically, the way that she explains it is what came before the beginning of the universe, possibly. Is that she talks about intellect. She talks about how intellect is something that existed before the Big Bang. And the reason why this is so important to me and why I harped on this so hard in the discussions is because you don't, if it was said by just some random human character, I wouldn't care as much. But the fact that it was said by somebody that isn't human, whether she's just a fish or an alien or whatever, the fact that it's said by somebody that isn't human is proof enough to me that it is a big plot point. Because as I said, it's Foo Fighters' ignorance makes way. Like when you're the type of ignorant that Foo Fighter is, when you say something, it means a lot, because humans themselves say stupid shit all the time, right? Like in the beginning, God used his stand to punch life into. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where Jojo goes. Like God's just, oh, and you're a universe, and you're a universe, and you're a universe. That would be so stupid. But as I said, when human characters say stupid shit all the time, humans say stupid shit all the time. Humans are very big on pontificating about grander ideals and things like that. So you can take it with a grain of salt when a human says it. However, a character that's as robotic and ignorant as Foo Fighters to say something like that, you almost have to take it as gospel. Because why else would somebody that literally doesn't know shit other than its own existence and survival say something like, in the beginning, the universe, or before the universe, they had intellect? What? Why would she say that? Whenever any character gets super high concept, it's usually Araki talking through them and should be accepted as canon. And this is true, yes. But I'm talking about, like, I'm trying my best not to be too meta about this. I'm talking about like Father Pucci. Father Pucci is talks about some super out there ideals, and I take that as canon because, well, he said it. Why would you say anything that isn't, why would you say anything that isn't going to like make an appearance in the story or the themes, right? And really, that, like, it's not just JoJo that this happens in. Artists, mangakas, or storytellers usually do, like, in a way, possess a character in order to explain to the viewer what's going on, right? And the reason why it works in Jojo is because when a character says something, you know, out there like that, it's usually a character I believe would say something out there like that. With other, you know, with some other anime, the mangaka will possess somebody that isn't as smart and start talking about that, and I'm like, you're an idiot. Why would you say anything about the beginning of the universe? So when Father Pucci starts talking about heaven, I believe him. The nigga's a fucking chaplain. I expect him to talk about that, even if it is the mangaka, like speaking to the viewer. I believe you. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of which, you should go back and listen to Dio's speech to Polnareff on the stairs. Will do, because I remember Dio was spitting. I remember that Dio was spitting in that speech. Yes, the peace of mind speech. No, I never. Maybe I just don't remember. But this is why when Foo Fighters talks about the beginning of the universe, I'm like, ooh. And you're just like, Foo Fighters is a species that could predate a lot of life. So if you're talking about it, we have to keep that in the back of our minds. So we will, right? We continue to keep that in the back of our minds, the idea of something existing before the universe, and we then move on to Father Pucci, who has the idea he's a man of God. You know, Father Pucci himself is pretty cool. I like his character. I like that, you know, he's a fucking pastor. That shit's cool. But the more important thing about Father Pucci is his ideals, right? And to simplify it, Father Pucci, man of God, wants to get to heaven, right? Every man of God wants that, right? That's the end game. When you're a man of God, that's the end game. However, this is Jojo, and it's not going to be that simple as just pray and be good onto others and stuff. Like, no, he wants to get there now, ASAP, no ferg. You know what I'm saying? And it's because we have the beginning, it's because we have the Foo Fighters speech, I guess, if you want to call that, that you now have to kind of add that to Father Pucci's ideals and think about how does that mesh with what Foo Fighter was saying. Pucci is probably the smartest JoJo villain, just not on a logical level, but on a meta fate level. And here's why: because like I said, Father Pucci's a man of God. That's literally why. He's a man of God. He's a smart guy, but he also has faith. I think that's what makes Pucci so smart, because all the rest of the villains were speaking, when villains spoke in JoJo, it almost sounded robotic how logical they went about things. Kira was logical. He was cool, calm, and calculated and logical. Like, but in a show like JoJo, where it's not just numbers and science, fate is a real thing in this show. Somebody like Father Pucci, who has a higher belief, is going to take the same thing that Kira, Dio, and Diavolo like had, and he's gonna take it a little bit further because Pucci believes in something higher. And while it may not be God, it's something, right? It's something. Like, Dio didn't believe in something. Dio believed in himself. Kira didn't believe in something. He believed in himself. Diavolo didn't believe in something. He believed in himself. So, for somebody like Pucci who didn't, like, he believes in himself, obviously, you know, but he believes in something higher. Like, his plan, I'm going to assume, is not something that's just for him. This is for everybody. He's thinking macro. Like, everybody else is thinking micro. He's thinking macro. He's like, no, we're going to get it all done, right? Like, his ideals are way bigger than anybody else's. Like, they cover a lot more ground than any other villain, which is why he's so smart, because he has a better scope of the world. He has a bigger scope of the world. Everybody else had tunnel vision. Father Pucci is thinking about everything, right? So when you have a theme like, or an ideal like getting people to heaven or getting to heaven yourself, you then have to ask yourself, how do you do it, right? And we've talked about this millions of times on in the discussions, but which is like, yeah, okay, how do you do it? How would Father Pucci see this heaven, if we, you know, to say, I personally don't know, right? I personally don't know how Father Pucci does it, but I know what he would have to do. And to skip forward a little bit to Dio's whole, not plan, but Dio's, whatever Dio was saying to Father Pucci, where he was like, you have to elevate yourself. You got to elevate yourself. Dio represents a man who got everything that every other villain had already got. So if even this man is like, yo, there's still something more I need. And Father Pucci is like, yo, there's something that people haven't really been looking at for real. Like, we're not going far enough. We're fighting it when we should be working with it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's more of Pucci's thought process. Why are we fighting this thing when we could be working with it and then actually get there, right? Yeah, Kira and Diavolo went about fate in complete opposite ways, but they were both wrong. Dio and Pucci are above that, right? These are men that want more. Kira and Diavolo just wanted it to stop, right? Like, Kira was just like, I want it to all stay the same. Diavolo, I want it to all stay the same. And in that way, they thought that they would gain more from it all staying the same, not progressing. They thought that they would get more from not progressing. Let me just delete it. Let me just delete my fate. I'm skipping forward anyway. That's not how that works. Let me just replay my fate of having a good day over and over again. I'll skip ahead another day anyway. That's not how that works. Whereas Dio's like, I did it all. I tried it all. I tried pausing it and it doesn't work. I don't understand. I've thought about it and I think now I know what I've been doing wrong. I've been fighting it. And Pucci comes on, he's like, dog, why are we I want to get there, bro. I don't want to stay still. I want to progress. Pucci is the only villain that wants to progress. Like, the other villains wanted more for themselves, But Pucci is the only one that literally wanted to become a better person. Now, granted, the way he's doing it ain't cool, but Pucci literally wants to evolve. No other villain wants to evolve. Every other villain wants to stay the same. They were stagnant. Yeah, Fate. Fate was literally just like, no, bad, stop that, literally, and sent Josuke and GR. Yes, that is quite literally what happened. They didn't work with Fate. So Fate literally Fate, you have to look at Fate as like God. It is literally God in this world. So if we are to look at God, we are to look at Fate as God in this world, like almost a tangible God, or at least something that you know exists, and you yourself go against that God and say, I'm not doing that. It's going to stop you. It's a God, goddammit. It's going to stop you. Pucci's idea is, what if we just give in to the God's orders? What if we did that? Because here's the thing. Nobody has actually like confirmed whether Fate is good or bad. The villains that we got just kind of said, I don't like it, so I'm gonna stop it. And Fate was like, we're not doing that. And then there's Pucci, who was like, I think it's a good guy, or at least it aligns with what I want to do, so I'm gonna go along with it. And let me tell you something, you catch more bees with honey. Oh wait, was it catch more flies? Regardless, if you work with something, you get closer to your goal. If I got a job at like this big corporation, and the boss was like just a real warlord, just a real tyrant, and there was these two managers that tried really hard to stop the boss. Like they wanted to stop the boss so they could continue living out their tenure at that company, happy, like every day is the best day ever, by stopping that boss. If the boss catches wind of what you're doing, which he will catch wind of what you're doing because he's the boss, he's gonna fire you. But you know how you could probably take care of that boss and like get rid of him? If you went along with that boss, and the boss just continued to let you do what you do because you're going along with the plan. And as soon as you and the boss get to where you want to be, you've gotten to the same, you have let the boss string you along to the point of getting close enough to him to where you yourself can seize the opportunity of doing what you want to do. It's because we've never really sat down and said, is the boss bad? Is the CEO bad? Is he a bad guy, or do I just not like what he's doing? Pucci's the only person to actually ask that question. Is he really bad? Is Fate really bad? I don't think so. I think we need it. Because think of it this way. The Joestars never say whether it's bad or not either. They just accept it. They actively accept it and fight against it. They fight against the current sometimes, but they have never tried to stop it. They have never tried to stop it. Like, if I were to make another what's the word? Analogy, it's like the villains of Jojo tried to build a dam, and Jojo, the Joestars, just tried to swim in the current of the river that the dam is being built in. And that current is so strong they continue to break the dam. And Pucci, here comes Pucci coming along, and it goes, what if I just hop in and just let it carry me and just see where it takes me? Like, that is, and like, what if I take it a step further and say, what if I could speed this damn up and just see where it takes me faster? Like, that is the masterfulness of Pucci as a villain, is that he doesn't fight back. He's not fighting back. He is simply going with the flow. He is going with the flow better than Kira did. Kira went with the flow so much that he stopped the flow. And the flow was like, no, you can't stop me. What the fuck is going on? Pucci's like, whatever it is, I'm with it. I'm with it. Like, that is your god. That is literally your god. Why would you go against it? It's tangible. You can't go against it. Hey, what's good with you? What's good with you? How you doing, Ambu? How's it hanging? How's life? You know, we're just here talking some Jojo. Good time. It's a good time. But that is the beauty of Pucci's character as a villain, is that he doesn't stop it. He's just chilling. He's just chilling, and when the time is right, he is going to do what he wants to do. That's what makes him smart. Not just because he's actually smart, but because he has a broader scope of the situation. So now that we got now we've talked about that, I guess we can kind of get into, like, I mean, I've talked at length about what I think is happening or what I think is going to happen. But I can only speculate. Because things are getting so fucking absurd. Things are like, at least like, things seem like they're about to get so absurd that I can, like, where do you go from here? Like, the fact that there is a part 2, or there's a part 7, 8, and 9 that's being created at the moment baffles my mind. What? Really? There's more? Couldn't have said it better myself. Kira tried to keep his fate from changing. Fate said, fuck you. Diavolo tried to change fate, and Fate said, nah, fuck you. Yes. Why would you go against your god? You know what I'm saying? If fate is God, but wait, there's more. Why is there more? Because, like I said, I can only imagine how this ends, right? But the way that I'm thinking that it ends, there is no more. But then I think about it more, I'm like, no, there is more. We got the answer. We got the answer before. Like, part 6 literally gave us the answer on why there's more. Why there's a part 7, why there's a part 8, why there's a part 9. Like, part 6 literally gives you the answer. Cause yeah, the way that Jojo is going right now, the way that it's looking right now is that it has to be the end. Not just the end of the Joestars, not just the end of Pucci or whatever. It's the actual end of the world. And like, maybe the way that everybody's talking, take us to the end of the universe. And then that's when I'm thinking, but that doesn't make sense, because how is there more? If you end the world, you can't have more. There's nobody else to tell the story. Who tells your story when the world has ended? Nobody, because everybody's fucking dead. Like I said, you got the answer, because in episode 6 or something, whenever we got introduced to Foo Fighters, like, for real, what did she say? Before the Big Bang, there existed intellect. Intellect? What? You mean that there was sentience before the Big Bang? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, but wait. Yes, it fucking does. Of course it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. If there was intellect before the Big Bang, I can only assume that something created the Big Bang, right? God knows what that is. I don't know. What was there before it? I don't know. But the fact that there is something there before it means that there can be something there before the next one, right? Which is why I say that as wild as it sounds for there to be a part 7 and a part 8 and a part 9. Now, here's the thing. To play devil's advocate with myself, I did say once that it could just go back, which I'm still very interested for it to do that. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't be opposed to like part 7 being okay, well, the world ended, but let me show you the prequel before all this crazy shit happens, so you can know the full story. Let's go to the biblical days of when people saw Jesus walk on the water because that was his stand. Jesus stand. That's I think I said this in a video, but like I feel like that would be prime to get canceled. The Holy Spirit. Oh God, that would be funny. Oh my God, bro, please. Oh my God, I'm. Oh my God, now that I'm thinking about it, please let Jesus be a fucking stand user. Dear God, that would be funny. Have Job be a fucking stand user, and they have the main antagonist be Judas. Oh my God, that would be so cool. But yeah. The only way that this can continue the same way that like the only way that this show can continue, Jesus posing menacingly. Oh my God. Okay, we gotta stop talking about this because like the more I hear it, the more I'm like, oh, I need that. And if I don't get it, I'm gonna be really fucking disappointed. I'm gonna be so disappointed if we don't get Jesus in part 7. Just wait till Jojo star rocks your shit. Oh my God. Dio and Diavolo as literal God and Satan. Oh, that would be hard. That would be so hard. That would be so hard. But the thing is, all right, so getting back on track a little bit. As I said, and I try my best to stay away from making concrete theories, right? And it's because like, well, personally I am afraid, like, I'm not afraid of being wrong, but I'm afraid of sounding stupid. And that's kind of just part of the territory when it comes to theory crafting. And I don't even like saying that I'm theory crafting because like I just have discussions, like I just talk about what I see. So I don't exactly even like saying that I'm like theory crafting because that, I feel like other people do way better jobs of theory crafting than I do. And I want to let the people that are better at it kind of do it for themselves. And me just kind of be the guy that watches it and goes, yeah, bro, I saw some shit and that shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, the theories are your channel's selling point. But see, here's the thing. The theories are all well and good, but okay, here's the thing. theories are all well and good. It's the crowd that theories attract that I don't like. I don't like that crowd. I don't like the theory crowd. Like I'm because people don't understand what a theory is. I don't think people like truly understand what a theory is. Um like people assume theories to just always be right, when theories are just that. They're theories. They're just like, I think this is what's going to happen, and that's it. But like for some reason the theory crowd of YouTube like believes that when you create a theory, it has to be right, or it's not a theory, or it's a bad theory. I don't believe that theories are bad. I don't believe that theories are bad if they're wrong. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I said I'm about to come to you with an analysis on what's going to happen for the rest of Jojo, okay, then you could say, yeah, that, I don't know, you're wrong on that, you know, that's a little stupid, right? Or I would have told you, you know, this is everything that's going to happen on Jojo, you know, that. No, I just kind of go, I think this is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And whether I'm wrong or not, then okay, cool. But you know, I would say I just don't put too much stock in my theories. I just kind of say some shit and I leave it alone, which is why I don't. Whenever I have a theory, I just say it. I'm like, I think this is gonna happen, and I leave it alone because like I don't want to harp on something that's wrong for too long. Like, and I end up doing it anyway, where like I'll have a theory and I'll just continue to talk about it simply because like, well, that's what it looks like to me, but I don't know, you know? But yeah, it all just boils down to, I don't like the crowd that theories attract. I enjoy having theories. Like even when I was like with Attack on Titan, I love theory crafting about well, we're talking about Jojo, so I won't, like, just in case somebody hasn't watched Attack on Titan or something like that, I will just say that I love theory crafting about like what actually caused everything, right? Great, love that, right? And same thing with Jojo. Like, I love theory crafting about that stuff. I love discussing that type of stuff. But the crowd, oh, luckily I haven't got too much of that. But oh god, it is dizzying. But yeah, let's get back on track a little bit again. Right. So if I were to just full send. Right, on where Jojo is headed, is that, and I can only full send this because we're on stream, and I don't exactly have to worry about it being a video, but if I were to just full send on my theory of what's going on with Jojo, is that Pucci being the first villain to actually go with the flow when it comes to fate means that he is probably going to be the first successful one. Because if you think about it, every other, and I say successful, and I'll get back to that. I say successful, but I don't exactly mean he succeeds. I should probably say the most successful villain. The fact that we have gotten villain after villain after villain that has constantly tried the same thing, pretty much. I'm not even about to give them like deep, intricate details on what they did and stuff like that, because when you get down to brass tacks, is that each villain was fucking insane, and Pucci is the first villain that isn't. Pucci is in his right mind. Like, I genuinely believe that Pucci is the first villain that is in his right mind. Even Dio at a point was insane. In the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again until expecting, you'll get different results. The villains, Cars is an interesting case. Cars is an interesting case because Cars was very grounded. Cars's thing was not Cars was before Fate became like a really big thing, right? Like Fate was still a thing, but it wasn't like as sentient as it is now. Like I think Fate woke up when Dio started stopping time. Like I said, I see Fate in the show as a sentient god. Fate woke up as soon as somebody started fucking with it. Cars was not fucking with it. Cars dead ass. And here's the thing. Cars was a grounded character. He sure as shit is insane now. Yeah, he is now. No, well, he's not insane. He just fucking stopped thinking. But here's the thing with Cars. Cars was very grounded. Cars was the symbol for the show still being a very earthly show, because Cars's like mission was to overcome the earth. Like that was Cars's mission, that he was going to I know you're not talking about the Cars movie, but if I pretend you are, it makes this segment so much more funnier. God damn it. God damn it. Damn it, now I'm going to be thinking about it. But Cars was the symbol of the show being grounded on Earth, to earthly ideals, to earthly like concepts, because Cars's mission was to not overthrow their, like, of course he was going to take over the world if he got what he wanted, but Cars's mission was to overcome the hurdle of nature itself, of the earth. Cars's biggest rival was Mother Earth. Like Mother Nature was Cars's biggest rival. And much like Fate bitch slapped Kira and Diavolo and Dio, yeah, Cars got bitch slapped by Mother Nature eventually. He got dirted by a volcano. You know what I'm saying? So Cars being one of the villains who simply wanted to not change his fate, but overcome his nature. He doesn't really like, Cars is great, but he only served as a stepping stone. Once you defeated Cars, it was like, we defeated the perfect being. What do we do now? Let's start fucking with gods. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Lightning McQueen has that deep of backstory. Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it. God damn it. Well, nature is different than Earth. Nature includes the entire. Yes, but the point I'm trying to make is that Cars was not. Cars wasn't going out there trying to conquer the universe. That wasn't what Cars was trying to do. Cars just wanted to be able to chill in the sun. Cars wanted to conquer, like, obviously it's bigger than that because the sun isn't on Earth, but thematically, Cars was not trying to fuck with gods. Cars simply wanted to be better than humans. Cars 2 has an analogy on how Nazis would affect Stan. Damn it. God damn it. I say all this to say that Cars had a lot of intricacies, but Cars was simply the door that we had to break down in order to get to the real crazy shit. Which is why we get to Cars so quickly. Like, think about it. We got to Car, like, we had part one, which was Dio, who was trying to overcome man. Like, he was trying to overcome, like, simple shit. Dio had a very simple goal. Dio wanted to take the estate of the Joestars and live a more extravagant and wealthy life. Like, he wanted a better life. This was man versus man. That was what Dio's story started off as. And then after Dio transcended humanity and all that other stuff, we then get Joseph, who is man versus somebody, I guess, nature. And it was more of the stakes became the earth, right? And then after we beat Cars, then shit got real fucking crazy, because now if we've already beat the one guy that wanted to, like, take over the earth, and we've defeated the one guy that wanted to take over just a household, you know what I'm saying? Of course he had bigger plans, but, like, let's be real. It started off as him just being like, I want that money. You know what I'm saying? What do we have next? Oh, the guy that took over the household and has now thought that maybe I can start like getting rid, or not getting rid, but like start fucking with fate or time, you know, time or fate, however you want to look at it, doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. The thing is that it doesn't matter because the ideals are very simple when you get to the brass tacks of it, right? And as I said before, I see fate as a sentient god in this show. So that shit wasn't woken up until Dio decided, what if I stop time? And then all of a sudden he stops time and the god wakes up. What the fuck? Who did that? I'm killing y'all now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how that happened, right? So that was a very long-winded way of me getting to how I see how I see Jojo going from here on out. We got all those characters, or all those villains, who continued to do the same fucking thing. And then we get the most sane villain of them all, and that's what makes Pucci so scary, is that he's not insane. Pucci is not crazy. He is very sane. Pucci is very sane. There is no like what did I miss? What's good? Jetcon Stend? What's good with you? We're just talking about Jojo. We just finished talking about how what Cars represented for the story, and why Pucci is going, or why Pucci is the what's the word? Why Pucci is the most sane villain, why he's the most successful villain of Jojo. And are you going to upload this on your channel? Because I want to see this shit. Don't worry, I will find a way to upload this. This is going to be a very long video, but yes, but that's what makes him evil. That's what makes him evil. Everybody else was just fucking crazy. You can almost make a case that they weren't evil. They were just fucking crazy. Kira was crazy. Dio had problems. Diavolo was crazy. Pucci is not. And that's why he's evil. He's genuinely evil. Because because he's not crazy, because he has the mental capacity to know that he's doing like evil, but think that he has the mental capacity to do something evil because he feels like it's the best thing for the world. Like that's what makes Pucci so scary. Like, to get a little bit real on you, in history, all the most evil people are always acting in the interest, or what they think is the interest of the world. That's what the most evil people in history have always done. They knew they were doing they knew that they were doing wrong, and at the same time they didn't think that they were doing wrong, because this is for the betterment of everybody else. Like this is for everybody, right? That's what makes it so fun. That's what makes him so scary. He's completely sentient. I kept saying this in every time we defeated like Dio, Diavolo, Kira. They were stupid. They were stupid because they killed themselves. They got themselves killed. Pucci is self-aware enough to not get himself killed. That's the scary thing. He's not lost. He's not lost in the sauce like everybody else. He's an evil that doesn't realize he's evil. This is gonna be a big theme in my story. Selflessness being more evil than selfishness. Yes, because everybody that's evil believed that they were doing the right thing. Exactly. Hitler believed it. Charles Manson believed it. Jim Jones believed it. He deadass was making people kill themselves because he believed that he believed that they would get to heaven. Jim Jones is literally Pucci. Yes, I have felt that LeBron secretly was evil. Should have known. That boy LeBron. Should have known. Naruto, believe it. Naruto could have been evil. Think about Pain. Think about what Pain represented. Pain was an evil Naruto. I'm just keep it at that. I'm just gonna keep it at that. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Just think about it. Can't have Pucci make people drink Kool-Aid, cause that'd be race. That would be tough. But yeah. Every person that is evil always thought that they were doing good. So, when it comes to all these villains being absolute, dirt at what they do, and then Pucci being completely cognizant of what he's doing, here's what happened. Or that's a core theme of Fate. Yeah. Oh, you mean Fate? Oh, I seen I know what you're talking about. Like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I seen a clip of, I think it was what is his name? The blonde-haired guy, Gilgamesh, talking something. I seen like a speech of his. And I was like, ooh, that's hard. So I kind of feel what I see what you're saying, but also maybe if Fate wasn't so fucking hard to watch. But yes, Pucci being completely cognizant of what he's doing, he is going to succeed. He's going to be the most successful villain out of any JoJo villain that we've ever got. And here's how. I don't know exactly how Pucci does it, but he will succeed in getting everybody to heaven. I think that Pucci fails, but he is successful. I think Pucci fails himself. I think that's what I'll say. I think Pucci fails himself and succeeds in his overall plan. I think Pucci gets everybody to that end point that we talked about so much in the discussions. He gets everybody to that end point by fast forwarding fate. What do you call it? He gets everybody to the end point by somehow fast forwarding fate to that end point. Now, how he does that, I don't know. The only thing I have to go off of that is that each villain, I see JoJo villains as a remote control. Each villain represents a button. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have Dio who was a pause button. You had Diavolo who was a skip, and you had Kira who was a replay, and then you have Pucci, who I'm going to assume is a fast forward. And I also say that because that's the best way to get to an endpoint. If you want to see the end of a movie, you fast forward it. You could watch it, sure, but if you want to see it ASAP no ferg, you want to see it right now, you fast forward it, right? So if you see life as a movie, or if Pucci sees life as a movie, he's just going to fast forward it to the end. Now, stay with me now. If you were to fast forward said movie to the end, what do you do now? Sit around and stare at a blank screen because the movie just went off? You could. You'd be weird for doing that. You could. Or, and here's a revolutionary idea. What if you turn on another movie? And that is where I think JoJo gets really fucking weird. Is because, yes, you just turn on another movie. So, as Foo Fighters said, there was something there before the Big Bang. So if this universe ends, that leaves perfect, space for another one to happen. And this is why I say Pucci is the most successful. He is not successful, but he is the most successful because Pucci came this close. And then he remembered that he was fucking with a god. I'll say it again. Fate is a sentient deity to me in this show. If you kill it, it's just reborn. So yes, once again, Pucci is the most successful, but he is not successful because his idea is to get to the end point. But what does he do when another movie starts playing? Can't do shit. You were a part of the last movie, Pucci. It's too late. You can't do anything. You were a part of the last movie, not this one. So he failed. But he was the most successful. Wait for the credit video like the MC. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, we were talking about Foo Fighters, right? Jesus Christ. Even the changing of fate is in itself fated, right? I like that quote. I like that quote because it dead ass tells you the end of this. Is that yes, you change it. You get there. Congratulations. You got there. Guess what? I got another universe for you. Stop that. Oh, you wanna end that one? I got another universe for you. Stop that. I just think that that's the logical way that this show goes, is that you get to another universe. And here's the worst part. Here's where like I am deathly afraid of JoJo and how much it's going to hurt my brain. Because if you do get to another universe, it reminds me a lot of like Gurren Lagann. Is that once you get to the point where you you have transcended godhood, and you start bringing universes into the picture, the next step is like, okay, you conquered it. You stopped the universe. There's another one though, but you stopped the universe. Congratulations. The princess is in another castle. So here's what you do. This next set of what's the word? This next batch of characters are going to be immensely, and I mean immensely stronger. Why? Because you've already ended the universe, dude. Like you've already ended it. So what do you do next? And this is why I say it reminds me of Gurren Lagann, because next thing you do is just start weaponizing universes. In Gurren Lagann, they were throwing universes at each other. So I don't expect Gurren Lagann, or I don't like expect Gurren Lagann levels of what's the word? I don't expect Gurren Lagann levels of combat where they are literally throwing universes at each other, but I expect them to weaponize them, because progressively JoJo characters and villains have gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And here's the thing. I just said that I see Pucci as a button on a remote. I see all the villains, actually you can almost say all the characters. I see the characters as buttons on a remote. Once you run out of buttons and you can't fight with that remote anymore, you just start throwing remotes. You just start throwing remotes, because fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's progressively got crazier and crazier and crazier. And if you're done with fucking with Fate, why don't you just start weaponizing it? You get people that like just straight up fight with it. We haven't seen that yet. Like at all. And if somebody's going to be stronger than the guy, like think, how do you get stronger than the guy that stopped the universe? How would one do that? Like, you don't. It would have to end. The story would have to end. But it doesn't. There's 3 more parts. Why are there 3 more parts? You can tell a very like normal story, like the same way that you told the others, but you know how repetitive it would be if you brought in another villain that could stop time. Oh wow, I wonder how we're gonna stop him. Probably the same way we stopped Dio. You know, it's about to get a headache. Because it's so much to fathom. It's like if Attack on Titan ended and they said, but wait, there's more. How? You know, I once again, I'm not going to spoil Attack on Titan, but the way that Attack on Titan seems to be ending, there's no way you come out with a Attack on Titan 2 unless you just dial it back and talk about something different from the story at hand. You can't continue the story. There's no way. You cannot continue the story. It just doesn't work out. It just doesn't work like that. Like it doesn't. So yeah, like to put that all in like a neat bow, there has to be more universes than just the one that we're in. It will be sad to see ours go. If that is how now, to play devil's advocate, Jolyne could stop him. Jolyne deadass could stop him. The only problem I have with the idea of Jolyne stopping him and him not being successful at all is that, once again, there are more parts. And it would make no, like, from a meta standpoint, and I try not to metagame too much, because I slightly feel like it's cheating. Two, I never like to what's the word? I never like to feel like I'm trying to be smarter than the show I'm watching, because I'm not, right? Like, why is my eye twitching? I never like to feel like I'm smarter than the show I'm watching, because I'm not. There's no way I could write Jojo. There's no way I could write Attack on Titan. There's no way I could write Full Metal Alchemist. There's no way I could write any of these shows. So I'm not gonna act like I know exactly what's going to happen. My word has to be gospel, and all this other shit. I'm not that self-absorbed, right? Or at least I try not to be. So when you have a story like this that's going in the way that this is, and I have to metagame a little bit and say that it would be weird for Jolyne to stop Pucci, and it would be weird for Jolyne to stop Pucci and then us get 3 more parts of what? Dialed down villains? That's not Jojo. Each villain has gotten progressively crazier. Each villain has got progressively not even progressively, leaps. A nigga stopped time. One nigga went from being the perfect being to stopping time, to creating a time loop, to deleting it, to what I'm going to assume is fast forwarding it. No way we're going to go back to a villain that has water guns for hands. Why the fuck would we do that? That's not the way that Jojo has gone so far. That's not the story that's been told so far, right? Never has. I doubt it ever will. So the only way to go is up. It's Edco, my nigga. It's Edco. You gotta go up. That's the only way to go. The powers gotta get crazier. Like I said, dudes gotta start throwing galaxies and universes at each other. Niggas gotta start literally. Hang on. I just thought about this. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I just thought about it. I just thought about it. Pucci's the standard. Pucci is the standard. Oh my god. I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. Hang on, real quick, cause I haven't read chat in so long. I'm so sorry. Let me okay. I talked for like way too long. I gotta catch my breath. I just thought about this. Holy fuck. Okay, yeah, let me catch up with chat. My bad. Okay. let me go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. No, 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 please keep going. Oh, yeah, I will. I just don't want to. I just don't want nobody to feel like I'm not reading chat. I'm sorry. He could have read the manga of previous parts though. Yeah. Oh, have I read the manga? No, I have not read the manga. I refuse to read the. I started off this I started off the stream saying that I can't read manga. I'm sorry, I can't. As much as I would love to continue enjoying the story of JoJo in manga form, I can't do it. I'd fall asleep, unfortunately. If it turns out that Part 7 will never be created, I may just have to. But no, I can't read manga. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Don't read too far up. There have been oh god, okay. I will stop then. Okay. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, hang on. Let me go back and read stuff. What do you feel about stands now compared to the first time they were introduced in part 3? It is when I first in the beginning of part 3, I wasn't sure about stands as a just as a thing. I wasn't sure. I thought it was really fucking cool, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what, like, I was like, you know, that's cool. It's a great way to give people superpowers, but we'll see where it goes. Right now, I think that stands have become the perfect vessel to move the story along, to not only move the story along, but present to present different themes within the story. Is the idea of stands is a great way to progress the story because of what they are, is because that they are literal embodiments of these people's spirit. Not even people, like, they're embodiments of the spirit. So they are good for progressing story and ideals, and now I'm really happy that I couldn't imagine JoJo without stands now. It's the perfect way to continue the story. I really like stands now. They're really fucking good. I remember at the start of part 3, he thought the mind games were gonna start taking the. I did. They got so bad. Oh, they got so bad, dude. They got so fucking crazy. Damn, dog, you still streaming? I just came back from Shut the fuck up. Dang, people spoiling in chat. I'd hope not. Also love that it doesn't matter how powerful your stand is, anybody could clap your ass real quick, just like that. There's basically dudes with weird guns. Yes, they are dudes with weird guns. It is that's a good way to explain it. Even if I have a revolver and you have an AK, if I shoot first, or if I get a better vantage point than you, or you don't calculate for recoil, or I don't, or vice versa, I don't calculate for the recoil of my gun, or you know how many bullets you have in your mag, or how many bullets I have in my mag, the attachments and everything else, I could easily wash somebody with an AK with a Magnum. And the same thing if I had a 9mm. It depends on how you use it. So yeah, stands are really fucking cool. But hang on. Take a back seat. They hijacked and pushed the pedal to the. Yeah, they did. Stands of genius because you never have DBZ power scaling problem. Yes, I really like the idea of stands because you don't get the problem of, like, of course there are stands that you just can't fuck with, like Golden Experience Requiem. My nigga, what are you gonna nigga, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Explain. Nigga, try me. Now, granted, the way that Jojo is going, there might be some stands that can really fuck with it with Golden Experience Requiem. But right now, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? If everyone has a gun, no one has a gun. If everyone's super, no one is. But okay, let me get back to what I was about to say. I don't know why I didn't think about this until just now. But Pucci is the standard. That's the idea. Is that Pucci becomes the standard. My eyes are open now. My eyes are dead ass open now. Like I was asleep before. I was dead. But now, oh my god. So let me explain. It's not that the powers get stronger. But I mean they do. I highly doubt that the powers don't. I highly doubt that the powers don't get stronger. But I think the idea is here's what it is. Pucci's power of fast forwarding, however he gets it done, the idea of fast forwarding and going with the flow of fate instead of fighting it. Power scaling makes me sick. Absolutely. His idea of going with the flow instead of fighting it becomes the standard. So now take this sentient god, right? The sentient god that we call fate, and we get Pucci who is not gonna fight it. In fact, he's gonna go along with it and expedite its wishes. Now, why I say Pucci becomes a standard is because not simply because people learn from him, because the way this is going, Pucci's dead, Jolyne's dead, Jotaro's dead, everybody's dead. Foo Fighters may live. That's a little random, but Foo Fighters may live. I only say that because Foo Fighters is the one that brought up the idea of another universe, as well as Foo Fighters being a literal species of like amoeba and like their intellect living on. Foo Fighters may live. Maybe. If any, like, I believe that everybody dies. If somebody were to survive, Foo Fighters may live. Maybe. Just as fast she could get killed though. But back to the point, okay? So we have Pucci who just simply goes with the flow and he expedites the wishes of this god. But what is the step above that? People don't just become compliant to the god, they start working with the god, right? I.e. fate. If people start becoming compliant and if people start becoming compliant with fate and as I said, weaponizing it, it is the same thing as them working with it. They now borrow the power. Pucci isn't borrowing the power, he's just expediting the plan. But people actually taking that god and sicking it on people, I think that's why Pucci becomes the standard. Pucci literally and like ideologically represents like the evolution of humanity, the next step is simply to work with the god. So what I'm expecting is, like as I said, weaponizing universes, because that would be the next step up from the power to end one. Now, how they do that, if they do that, maybe it could go full Grimlock and people are just throwing universes at each other, but we're not fighting Gundam, so that's stupid. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because that's above my brain's pay grade. But the idea of people, of our maybe villains, maybe protagonists being a little bit more compliant with the idea of fate, or with fate itself, would show me that the characters that we get in part 7 and the other parts are going to be characters that, and maybe not all of them, I don't expect all of them to do it, but you know how I say, like, stand powers have to get crazy, like the singularity has to be a thing, right? After the singularity, people start using god, like literal god powers, right? And I like that theme because now you get a different and better batch of characters and villains who are utilizing this new, or not new, but this ideal in a different way. You've had people fight against the current, you've had people that try to stop the current completely, and there's people that there's people that are cool with it, or just regular people that just go with it. And you have Pucci, who literally wants to expedite it. So then you have to have people that are working alongside of it, using the power of fate itself as a weapon. And I'm trying to see what that looks like. Like, what does that look? What does weaponizing fate look like? Like, we've seen it in Golden Experience Requiem. We've seen that, but even he was basically he wasn't acting as a god. He was more or less acting as an archangel to that god. Like yeah, it's a god power, but it's more of, Giorno seemed more like maybe the Archangel Michael or something like that. You haven't, because fate itself is God, right? And Giorno isn't fate. He simply was like, listen, I'm gonna have you suffer for eternity, for real, in my God, you know what I'm saying? So with the end of this universe, you have to have a new group of people who use it in. We could get into multiverse. That would be a good way to I think that would be a good way to weaponize it. If you got into multiverse, like, you could definitely do some wacky shit with that. Like I said, I don't know what you could do with that and how exactly you would weaponize it, but I think you would have to utilize the multiverse or the god that we have established, right? I think that Jojo becomes a lot more simple when you look at fate as a sentient being. Like, off topic, but the Velvet Room music is going crazy. Boy, turn this shit up. Damn. Okay, that shit is going crazy. that shit is going crazy. I heard it in the background. I was like, hold on, that's crazy. I'm gonna tap out. Enjoy the stream, bro. All right, Jay. You take care of yourself, brother. You take care of yourself. It sounds like Skullgirls OC. Fuck. We know about what you feel about the possible ending of this part. What do you think the next power is gonna be? The next power? When you say the next power, what do you mean? Like what? Like what do you mean? Like what the next antagonist power is, or what the next, like, because it depends. It like dead ass depends. Like, because in Jojo, I don't think the antagonist power matters much. As sacrilegious as it sounds, I don't think the antagonist's power matters as much as the villain's power. I think the story of Jojo is told a lot through the villains, or at least the ideals of Jojo is told a lot through the villains, and then we get progression with the protagonist. The power of the antagonist of the next part. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I just needed to clarify. Oh no, man, because I don't have anything to go on. I deadass don't have anything to go on other than, because let's say let's say that the universe does end. What then, right? Like what then? Once you get a different universe, the possibilities are endless. However, if I were to take, okay, I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of somebody who could weaponize fate, right? Or by proxy, the multiverse, because you have to get into the multiverse in order to throw universes around, right? In like you know, I was about to say Yormi gun, Gurren Lagann style. I think you would have to have a villain that is aware of the multiverse. I think that's the, like, I couldn't tell you what his power would be, but I feel like you would have to have a villain, or at least, and maybe he's not a villain, but like maybe maybe you throw away the whole term of villain in the next part, and you just get another force or another character. It would have to be somebody that is aware of the multiverse, and I say that because if you're going to weaponize it, you can't use a weapon that you don't know exists. Like, if nobody knew that nukes existed, how would we use them? If nobody knew that guns existed, how would we use them? And the idea of weaponizing fate, you would have to know that it existed. In order to weaponize fate, you have to understand that the world ended at some point. And once you understand, like, you have to see it in the eyes of like Pucci. Pucci has the most clarity in his vision, so you have to look at it the way that he would. If you were to end it, this song go hard. Okay, I'm sorry. This song was going hard. Okay, but if you look at it in the way of Pucci, who believes that there is something more, and if you were to get somebody a step up from there, you would have to. Okay, I was like, what the fuck is that? You would have to have somebody that not only believes of a higher power, knows of that higher power, and like readily has that higher power on call. So yeah, I would say that they would have to be they would have to be at least knowledgeable of the multiverse in order to quote unquote throw universes around. They would have to be knowledgeable of the existence of those things. Now that goes into, well, how would they use that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um um uh hmm. That is a really good question, actually. I'm glad you asked that, because that's a really good question. How would one use a power like that? Uh, oh goddamn, that hurt. Um, um, if I, okay, let me put it in the, all right, let me stand in this antagonist shoes. If I were somebody that knew of the multiverse, hang on, I'm making it too. Hang on, no, I see what I'm doing. I'm, I'm, I, I see, I'm making it too. I'm over. What's the word? Fuck. I don't. Windows error sound. Yes. I need to simplify this. I'm making it too complicated. Thanos. Thanos. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Okay? Hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. Thanos. Thanos himself, if anybody, I mean, I'm sorry if I spoil this, but the first Thanos was dangerous because he believed in something more. Like, he believed in a higher ideal. I would argue, however, the more dangerous Thanos is the one that came into our like universe, like the MC, like the more dangerous Thanos would be the one that came after you killed the first Thanos, because knew that Thanos had more information than the last one. That Thanos, for the simple fact that he knew that he was brought to another universe, another timeline, he then knew that he could do it again. And I feel like that is the most simple way to explain it. That Thanos knew that he could do it again, and it's done a lot. See, here's the thing. Now that I put it, see, that was it. I was making it way too overcomplicated. I gotta dumb it down well, not dumb it down like fucking like MCU is fucking dirt or something. I'm not trying to say that, but I had to simplify it a little bit. That has happened so many fucking times in the MCU. It not just in the MCU. It's happened in comics in general. Like, by the way, I hate the rules of time travel in the MCU. Yeah, very very much paradoxes, like up the ass. Yes, but it's been done so many times in MCU that I think that that's it. That's it. Everybody in the MCU constantly worries about their own power when they were constantly using the power that the real power, like the real power that, and I think that's, oh my god, that's why I feel like Doctor Strange in I swear to God this will make sense. I swear to God this will I will I'm slowly but surely trying to weave this back to Jojo. I promise it will make sense soon enough. Maybe, I don't know, it probably won't, but I will try my best to weave this back into JoJo. But that is why I feel like Doctor Strange in Scarlet Witch are the strongest characters in the MCU. Why, you ask? Because they know of the multiverse and they actively use it. Every villain and hero in that or not universe, in that franchise constantly use it, but never actually use it. They never realize that the fact that they hop between one universe to the other is the actual power. They hop from one universe to the other and then they start shooting fireballs. No, dude. No. That's not it, and it probably will work better if, as Not Pork said, the way that they handled time travel was so bad. But like I said, they hop through a portal into another universe and start throwing fireballs. No, dude, that's not how you do it. You didn't realize that the act of hopping through that portal into another universe is the power you should be using. So, bring it back to Doctor Strange. He literally uses that power. That's why Doctor Strange in a lot of comics and a lot of, outside of the MCU Marvel bullshit that they always pull in the comics. Well, that Spider-Man once punched the planet and it broke in half. Okay, whatever. Who cares? That's not what we're talking about right now. In a lot of the comics and in even the show and even the movies that are coming up, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, I wonder if I was calling her Wolf the whole time, but Scarlet Witch are the strongest because they constantly use the power of hopping through timelines. Me and George were watching an episode of What If with Doctor Strange, where he was hopping through timelines in universes in order to bring back what's her face. I don't know. Don't really care. And eventually it made him a stronger character physically. Like, power wise, he was way stronger. Now, granted, his fate was horrible, but power wise, he was a stronger person because he got way more powers than that. Like, he was eating demons and all the other stuff. He came back a strong person because he was using the multiverse. And Scarlet Witch is the same way. Now, to a lesser extent, not to a lesser extent as in she's weaker, to a lesser extent because I don't know as much about Scarlet Witch. I know like feats that she's accomplished and stuff like that, but I don't know enough to make a clear case for her. But if we continue on this idea of Doctor Strange, it is because he uses the multiverses that he's so strong. So if we were to add that to the idea of a Jojo character or Jojo antagonist, if he were to know of the multiverse and he used it in the correct way, as Thanos didn't, Doctor Strange didn't, and Scarlet Witch didn't, because it's Marvel and they have to have like this drama of like you can't fuck with the multiverse, that's fucked up, can't bring back, like, the drama takes the idea of what they're doing being incredible takes a backseat to the drama when it comes to Marvel, so they don't extrapolate on it too much. But I expect Jojo to do so because it's Jojo, and like, my nigga, it's Jojo. Like, this nigga Kira was measuring a explosive bubble like he was Joe Montana. Yeah, dude, they're going to extrapolate. They're going to extrapolate on it a bit more than Marvel. So if you were to take the power of these two, Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange and the same thing that Thanos did and everybody else did, that for some reason were too stupid to realize what they were. Hell, I was too stupid to realize what they were doing because I didn't notice it until 30 minutes ago. So take that power and you give it to somebody that's in Jojo, an antagonist that's in Jojo, and then remember that Pucci is the standard, that there are no more crazies. There are no more crazies when it comes to antagonists. Or at least I would hope. I'm sure they could do a crazy character well, but I want more villains that have a sense of clarity like Pucci. Nobody else did. So if you were to take that clarity, to be the standard for a JoJo antagonist from Pucci, and then add it to this character, and then have the character know of the multiverse because of the standard that Pucci has set, this character's power would have to be that he is actively hopping through them. He is actively using that same Doctor Strange power that Thanos used, but for some reason didn't know that he was you. It makes me feel fucking stupid. Like, even if that theory is wrong, it makes me feel stupid when I rewatch Marvel, like a Marvel movie. I'm gonna feel stupid every time somebody walks through a portal. I'm gonna feel so stupid. I'm gonna be like, what? You stupid fuck, you started swinging a knife. Why'd you do that, you dumb fuck? So, oh wait, hang on, let me read. Yeah, gotta love Araki's willingness to interrupt the climax of an arc with a 2-minute long breakdown of some scientific phenomenon, and that's why this has to be like specific of what he's doing, like what he like, regardless of what the next antagonist can do, it has to be very specific. So like, if he is to know of the multiverse, he would have to be hopping through them. You know what I'm saying? He would have. Now, here's the next problem that we have with that theory. The next problem that we have with that theory is you get the ability to hop through universes. Now what? I don't fucking know. Now, what we also could do is we could give it a bit of more of a time aspect. You know, if he were to have another ability, we could give him more of like another time ability. I think that would be a little bit lamer, seeing as like everything in this part is culminating into like a universe ending, you know, situation. But he could just have an all for one kind of power of each time ability, which would be cool. I wouldn't be mad at that. Ooh, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be exactly mad at that. It wouldn't be as cool as hopping through like there's a big difference between branching timelines and multiverse. Both are infinite though. But that's why I kind of bunched them together, because they're both infinite. They're both infinite. And when you get into something like that, you have no choice but to get into like multiverse theory. Like think about it. Like we just finished talking about Marvel, who started to talk about multiverse when we started branching off timelines. That's why I put them both in the same, you know, category, because one only happens when the other is introduced. But yeah, back to what was I about to say? I lost track of what I was gonna say. Oh right. I wouldn't be exactly mad at a like an all for one kind of, you know, time stand power, um because then we would get like we could, with the clarity of Pucci, we could get an amalgamate, like we could probably get the perfect form of a um of an antagonist, in the way of taking every antagonist that we have had so far and, squishing them all up into one and give them Pucci's clarity. And that is a really good antagonist. Actually, that is a fantastic that is at least a fantastic potential for it, and a really good antagonist. um but I if I were to pick between the two, the more JoJo option, the more like whichever the option that sounds more JoJo is the universe one. um you know be having that power is, having a Doctor Strange power is kind of wild. And if we, as Doctor Strange did, he created a stronger him. Like, Doctor Strange going to a different a different universe was slowly creating a stronger him. Like, he would go there and he would go there and then extrapolate the information, or the information from that specific Doctor Strange, and take it back to his home universe. And that would be the power that he would that would be the power that he used in his universe, right? Like, in the what if, the knowledge that he gained from the universe that or the timeline, in that aspect, the timeline that he went to was what he would use later in his universe. So if I were to take a guess, I would assume, like, the long and short of it is that if I were to take a guess, the next, like, antagonist, or maybe character, like I said, if they just throw out the word antagonist and just make them characters, would have to, one, they have to fill a couple conditions. One, be aware of the multiverse. Two, be able to hop between multiverses. And three, they would have to be able to come back. Like I said, basically a Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Thanos amalgamation. So yeah, one, aware of multiverse. Two, able to travel. Three, able to come back. And that's probably that's probably the next step up for power. I would say that's like the final boss type shit. Like that's final boss type shit, I would say. But then again, when it comes to JoJo, they're really good at not nerfing, but having powers be fair. Like, people could stop time, but it was fair. Like, one guy could Diavolo could delete time, but it was fair. Kira could loop time, but it was fair. So I expect there to be like some type of fairness to it, no matter what his power is. And you know what? I wouldn't be mad at. Yeah. Yeah, King Crimson wasn't too fair. Okay, hang on. King Crimson wasn't too fair. I'll say that. King Crimson was not that fair. Like King Crimson wasn't that fair, but it became fair when a bigger fish like pulled up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Which if you do have to stop one fish with a bigger fish, then that's cool too. But yeah. Point is that JoJo is definitely heading into some absolutely insane territory, and like, just in part 6 alone, it seems to be just moving forward into some extremely berserk territory. So like I expect part 7 and part 8 and then part 9 to be like things that I can't even comprehend, like to the point that like I don't even I would not, I feel like if part 7 were to come out and I were to react to part 7, I wouldn't even feel comfortable making theories about part 7. Like I think that it would be that crazy to where like I would be watching it and go, I don't know if I can tell you what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Damn, we've been going for 4 hours. We should probably get to the, oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, to wrap everything up, Jojo is getting wild, and it is projecting to get wilder and wilder as things go on. So I'm excited. Basically, I'm very excited. I am very excited. Damn, yeah, this is gonna be great, man. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. But let's hop into some to these JoJo videos. Actually, you know what I'm saying? We gotta see what the fuck going on.